Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. We are here in my garden. We are going to be doing a garden update video today. Got stuff going, things are growing, things are looking good. So yeah, just wanna give you a little tour, show you what I got growing here. Right, so if we start over in this corner, we've got our cabbage and kale section. So basically what I did is like a row of kale, and then 2 rows of cabbages, and then a row of kale, 2 rows of cabbages, and so on. So this first row we got some red Russian kale. That's coming up nicely, it's so pretty. I should probably thin that out. Then we've got some cabbages. I believe these are the Brunswick cabbages. I had to thin them. Thinning plants is very difficult for me. But I think they'll do much better now. I probably didn't leave nearly enough space for all these cabbages. This is going to be loaded with cabbages soon. This is called Premier Kale. That looks super good. And then continuing along, I've got some Napa cabbages. Those look super, super good too. Probably should thin those out maybe a tiny bit more, maybe not. My first time growing those. And then I got a row of curly kale here. That one looks pretty good too. Oh, and then I do have a rosemary next to my Napa cabbage. I believe rosemary is supposed to be good for keeping out bugs in cabbage. This is another type of cabbage. This is called Oxheart cabbage. Down at the end there I've got a dill plant. And then finally I have a row of lacinato dinosaur kale, but I don't know, it's not looking so great. Not sure, maybe the soil's a little bit funky down at this end. Of course, like last year, all around the border I did do flowers. It is a little patchy though. Got some nasturtiums there, and then I've got some cosmos there, a whole bunch of marigolds down at the end. Got some zinnias here. They're growing quite nicely. They look good. And now we're gonna go to this first trellis. That's right when you enter. So on this side, I've got some sweet peas. So these are flowers. These are not peas to eat. You do not want to eat sweet peas. They're very toxic. And then on this side, like the first couple feet of this side, I've got some cucumbers. I can't remember which type they are. They're either called Paris cucumber or Bayet alpha. One or the other. There's one on this side and then the other type on the other side. And then down here, these little dudes are actually my loofah plants. So the idea is for the sweet peas to grow, climb the trellis, for the cucumbers and the loofahs to grow, climb the trellis. And then if we go under the trellis, I got some lettuce there, and then we got some radishes. These are icicle radishes, so you can see their little white guys peeking through there. I believe those are good to grow with squash. I think they keep away a type of bug. Then I got another type of lettuce here. And then in the middle, I've got some onions peeking out. And then over on this side, it's basically the same thing. We got more loofahs, sweet peas, and then down at this end, more cucumbers. And here we got a couple rows of beans and some carrots in between. I can't remember which bean is which. I'll know what type they are when they start making beans. I've got some purple teepee ones. I think these are the purple teepee ones. And then those may be the jade bush beans. I will actually put string up in a few days, but for now they don't need it. And then in the middle, I've got some carrots. I got 2 rows of baby carrots. I think I have d'Anvers and Scarlet Nantes carrots going. I don't remember. Then we got this trellis here. So this one actually has real pea plants. So on each side of the trellis, I've got a different variety of peas, like snap peas, pea pods. Again, the idea is for the peas to grow up the trellis. Right now they seem to just kind of be a massive tangle and growing to each other, not up. And then under the trellis we got some spinach here, and then this is a big row of arugula. And then here we have some red radishes. I believe these are called French breakfast. Aren't they so fun? I just love how radishes kind of peek through. I think it's so cute. How they're just like, hey, I'm ready. Here you go, pop, pop, pop. I gotta pick a whole bunch of those today. And then again, the other side with peas. These guys look better. These ones look like they're getting the hint of growing vertically rather than sticking onto each other. Yeah, they look pretty good. All right, and then here, these 4 little plants I've got going here are French melons, like cantaloupe melons. They are called Petit Cri de Rennes. I grew them last year. They're delicious, except last year I was at camp. I was teaching at a camp when they all decided to be ready and ripen, and they all rot in my garden. Behind the melons I got more flowers. We got some zinnias back there, and then marigolds, calendulas, sunflowers, more calendulas, more sunflowers, and sweet peas over there. I've got another row of beans here. I believe those are a yellow wax bean. And then this section over here I've got, you know, 3, 3, 3, and 3. These are all zucchinis and summer squash. So this first one, these are little yellow patty pan squashes. I'm so relieved to see these actually growing. When I planted them inside, they didn't really grow that well, and then I put seeds in the ground and they didn't seem to be doing anything, but now they seem good. And then I'm not sure exactly which these are, probably like gray zucchini. I've got gray zucchini, Italian zucchini, and then yellow straight neck summer squash. They look super good. They're growing really, really fast. Hi, garden! And then here I've got loads and loads of tomatoes. So I've got 3 tomatoes there, and then this is my big tomato section here. So no, I do not remember exactly which is which. I did write them down, so I do have a map at home. But they're not looking too bad. You know, these were just little bitty guys when I put them in the ground. They looked pretty sad, but I'm quite pleased. Like, I feel like they will survive. They will actually do something. Now, I put some herbs in here. I've got some basil here. That guy looks terrible. I don't know, the herbs are just not looking so great. Got a thyme plant. He looks okay. There's basil. Oof. Not so healthy. Another thyme. He looks good. That's oregano. That doesn't look so great. These are okay looking tomato plants. Grew these babies from seed. Not nearly as big as the ones my neighbor gardeners bought, but they're okay. I'm quite proud of myself with them. Here we got more flowers. We got calendulas. We got nasturtiums. We got some marigolds here. There are a few spots I need to plant some more seeds today just to fill in a few holes. Cosmos, random sunflower there. I didn't plant any of these sunflowers. They just kind of came up. And when they came up, I thought they were zinnias, actually, so I transplanted them by the border. And then they grew and I realized they were not zinnias. All right, and then finally, the last trellis here. This is my winter squash trellis. So on this side, these big guys are spaghetti squash plants. So I've got spaghetti squash and then sweet peas growing here. Again, same idea as that first trellis. You know, hopefully they will all climb. I have read about people, you know, letting their winter squashes trellis, and then when the squashes actually start to form, you take like pantyhose and nylons and put the squash in there and kind of hang it from the trellis. We're gonna see. This is a big experiment this summer. And then on the other side, I've got butternut squash and sweet peas. My squashes are looking pretty good. They're a decent size. I have to say though, with most of these, I think next year I'm not even gonna bother trying to plant them inside, like start seeds inside. I felt like this year, the ones that I started inside, you know, they were fine, but then I transplanted them and they didn't really transplant that great. So then I ended up just putting a ton of extra seed in, and that worked just as well. And then under this trellis, we got some more lettuce. I believe this is called Prince Mignonette, which means bronze little cutie in French. Got some onions here, red onions. I just did red onions this year. Another row of radishes. Again, these are the icicle ones. So cute, just peeking through there, love it. Another row of onions there, and then a final row of lettuce. So yeah, there is this year's garden, and I will be obviously keeping you updated with its progress. All right, good morning. So here we are on the lower balcony. Just gonna give you a quick little tour of what I've got going on down here. Basically lots of herbs, some nice smelling things, and some pretty flowers. So if we start in this corner, got a pot with a geranium, sweet potato vine, this purple stuff, what is that called? Coleopsis, something like that. I could be totally wrong. And then this pretty purple guy over there. And I got another pot similar to that. Only difference is whatever that last purple flower I had in that one I do not have. And I've got this is supposed to be purple. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I bought it and it was purple, but then all the flowers died. All right, back here, peeking in there, we got some catnip for the girls. And then here we got some lemon balm, big pot of basil, and of course some cat grass for the kitties. And then on this little stool here, got some herbs. So you got a big pot of thyme, some basil, oregano, and then this little dude, isn't he cute? This is called Fino Verde basil. I thought it was so cute. It's like a little topiary. And then finally over in this corner, we got this stuff that keeps the buggies away. Well, that's what they say anyway. So we got a big citronella plant there, and then a lemon verbena. That thing has grown so much. It's so big now. It's so pretty. Got a rosemary here, but he looks pretty sad. I think I might need to put that in the garden. I think it's too wet in that pot. And then finally another pot of thyme. And then over in the corner I got this little kitty. One of my friends gave me this. But I don't want to put it in my garden because I'm scared somebody will steal it. So the kitty guards all my plants here. And then finally I have this basket, but this was filled with arugula and it was growing quite well. But then it got too hot and it went to seed. So I think I'm going to rip all that out and put in some flowers. Alright, so here we are on the upstairs balcony. I've mainly got herbs up here. Got some kale. I've got a kitty. Hello Kimchi, good morning. You helping too? So let's start over here. I've got a big pot of kale. This actually has 4 types in it. I planted it all from seed. We got some curly kale, red Russian kale, lacinato kale, and then one called Premier kale. And down here next to my kitty, we've got some cilantro and nasturtiums. I'm not having the best luck with nasturtiums actually germinating this year. I did soak them this year, but I think you really need to like nick them and kind of beat up the seeds. I did that last year. I used a nail file on them and that seemed to work a lot better. Alright, and then up here, that's some Italian parsley. I don't know what this purple flower is called, but I thought it was pretty. We got some lavender there. We got some mint over there. Some cat grass growing. Every time I start a new pot of cat grass, it comes up here because the kitties are not allowed up here. Only when Mama is up here. Only when supervised. Right, Kimchi? If I leave this one up to her own devices, she will jump in this pot of kale and sit there because she likes it. So that's why that pot of kale got moved upstairs this year. Alright, and then finally I've got some greens up here. I just watered them, so they're kind of coming back to life. So this one here is called Mosh. This is such a pain to grow. This is my 3rd season trying to grow it, and finally I have sprouts. It's a great little green from Europe. I love it. Got some spinach here, but it's already going to seed. I think I need to start this one. It's really, really cold if I want to have any luck with spinach. Just seems like it got too hot and kind of stopped. And then this usually looks quite pretty, but it was kind of thirsty, so I just watered it, and it's still a little bit limp. But this is just leaf lettuce. I see you looking at that kale. I see you looking at that kale. You want to jump in there and sit there? Boy, this is fun. I never get to go on this balcony. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!